Ladies, know that every man you're sitting next to tonight, if you could get into their head and see every thought they have ever had, you would immediately pull out a gun and blow your head off.
Is that true?
Hello guys.
Hi everyone.
And Merry Christmas.
Yes, it's the first time we're recording after the holidays, so if you celebrate, happy holidays to you.
I wanted to wish also Happy Hanukkah and what else is there? Mubarak?
Wasn't
I'm
that
not
before?
Sure, but you know, whatever you are celebrating right now, happy, whatever you are celebrating. Yeah, it's just after Christmas and we are recording the Daniel Tosh, How do 19% of Americans have jobs? We don't know this guy, we have never seen him, and it's not your recommendation, unless some of you recommended this and we haven't seen, but I don't remember that. YouTube recommended this guy for us, so thank you YouTube.
Yes, I feel like I saw this name in the comments, but I'm not so sure. So
Yeah.
if you recommended it, let us know to get the credit.
Yeah, but it's for Comedy Central, 12 million views, so well, I assume it's at least decent.
Yeah,
I hope
so.
it's very good. Well, let's begin.
It is great to be here in America. Oh, yeah. The greatest country in the world, if you haven't traveled a lot. Do we have to constantly scream we're number one? It's always the people that live in the most boring parts of this country that scream the loudest. People in Kansas, we're the greatest country in the world. It's like, do you guys have internet there? You ever seen a photo of Fiji? I've never been to Fiji, but I've seen photos. It looks pretty amazing. It's hard to think we're better than that. We're top 10. Maybe if we started screaming that every day, maybe terrorists would stop trying to saw our heads off. We're top 10. And they'd be like, that's fair. It was that number one stuff that was getting old. America's basically turned into one of these factories where we just have a sign up, like, it's been 22 days since our last horrible thing. And it's like, oh, all right, rip it down, we're back at zero again. These things just keep happening, you know, whether it's Ferguson.
I was going to say that 22 days seems a bit excessive. I don't know if America can go 22 days without anything horrible happening.
I remember having the job interview at this one place. It's like a factory or something, and the first day I'm there, it was a very long time ago. I was a young guy back then, and first thing I've seen, I walked through the door, and there is this whiteboard with the days, how many days passed since the last accident, and it was like 3, and the last lethal accident was like 6 months ago.
Little accident at that magazine.
Yeah, someone died. It was not a magazine, it was a factory. They made a styrofoam something.
Okay.
Like the things you put into the packages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it seems very deadly.
Yeah, and when I walked out, I noticed that there was a part of the building that was burned, and they were rebuilding it at the time. So I was like, nope.
And you think this is kind of like an allegory?
I can do Uber driving instead.
And you think America is like that styrofoam warehouse?
No. I've never said anything like that. It was just something that I remembered and it's not related at all. Let's continue.
Or Baltimore. I can solve racist cops. That's an easy fix. But nobody comes to me for the answers. You want to get rid of that forever? How about this? Only black people should be allowed to be cops. Boom, problem solved. And if any of you have issue with this, it's because you're racist. Well, what about white people? White people can be firefighters. We're more outdoorsy, it makes sense. White people, firefighters, black people, cops. Who wants tickets to the softball game now? Yeah, It's gonna get pretty tense. Might wanna put in a mercy rule. And the next time we have one of these tragedies, inevitably we will, and you happen to be so unfortunate enough to know the person that's being accused of the crime, do us all a favor and don't get on TV the next day and be like, I lived next to him for 32 years. I never could have seen this coming. Maybe you should be locked up for 6 months. I find nothing more disrespectful. You never could have seen it coming. I've never met anyone in my entire life that I couldn't wrap my brain around the fact that they are capable of awful things. Literally no one. My mom could blow up a nursery. And if you put me on TV the next day and I was completely honest with myself, I'd be like, I can fucking see it. No, it makes sense. Sometimes when I was a kid, I'd come home from school, she wasn't happy to see me. I think she hates children. Ladies, know that every man you're sitting next to tonight, if you could get into their head and see every thought they have ever had, you would immediately pull out a gun and blow your head off.
Is that true?
Not at all.
What are you thinking about right now?
I'm thinking about the montage. About the
Is it with jumping?
Editing, sorry. Yeah, it's this new wave of doing stand-up editing. It's like kind of weird, and you need to get used to it, because the old kind of editing make you feel like you are part of the audience.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you had some distance between you and the comedian. You felt like you are sitting somewhere in the front row.
Mm-hmm.
But now with those quick cuts, that you are on his right side,
Yeah, it's obvious it's
from the left side, from the front, and you just don't feel it the same way.
True.
To me, they're capable of anything. All day long, every day, nothing but twisted, weird, awful shit is just going round and round and round. And what do you do at night? You snuggle up next to them because you're so happy that you're not alone. And I think that says more about you. That notion that your parents raised you on, stand by your man, if you're insane. The second your man gets accused of anything, you immediately distance yourself. Just be like, I don't know what the fuck he's into. And buy clothes in the next town, we'll forgive you. By the way, I do love this country. We're the only place with any diversity. The entire planet's segregated. You realize that when you watch international sports. Like I was trying to watch the World Cup, despite hating it. I get it, soccer's the most popular sport on the planet. That's because half the world can't afford AC. And that's about how long you have to run just to get tired enough to fall asleep in these godforsaken countries. You ever try to gamble on soccer? What's the over-under, 0.5? How much time's left? It's a secret. I'm out. But we have diversity, other teams don't. Or if you look at the Olympics.
I'm sorry,
that was a funny one.
That's where I drew the line, you know, making fun of soccer, and especially by Americans. I mean, with your boring fucking sports, like, no.
No, I like soccer the first, but the part where he said how much time is there, it's a secret, that was kind of funny. Like a little bit, right? I mean, I don't really get the part where he said the countries are not diverse or the other part, but the secret time, like a little
It's
tiny
not, but
bit.
it's not secret. It's very simple, guys. Like, you have 45 minutes, and then you have 45 minutes, and whenever the ball is out of the game,
The field, yeah.
and you don't play because something happens or someone is injured and you're waiting, then the referee, he measures the time that we are not playing, and then he adds this time at the end of the half and at the end of the match. So you play full 45 and again full 45.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense, because if you're stalling and playing for time, then the other team is going to get back that time anyway at the end. So that
And
makes
I
sense.
much prefer sports, and I don't, what is the same? Yeah, basketball is the same. When you play you have time.
Mm-hmm.
With hockey is the same. I don't like sports like volleyball, when you need to score a certain number of points, because there is like, it's not as emotional, because you know that there will always be someone who scores 25 points.
True.
And For me, it's more interesting, like in basketball, like hockey, like soccer, when you don't know the exact result, and it can be
0-0, or it can be 20-20.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not in soccer, but
but
if you really wanted to.
For example, yeah. The biggest was, I think, Australia won with American Samoa, I think, well, it was Australia, but I don't know against whom. 30 something to 0.
30 in
30,
90 minutes.
30.
30 in 90 minutes.
Yeah.
You look at our U.S. gymnastics squad. We have an Asian girl, a white girl, a black girl. Look at the Chinese squad. Any guesses? Did you guess exclusively Chinese bitches? Yeah, that's all that's ever been on that team. That's all that will ever be on that team. And they wonder why they're not getting golds anymore. Well, you better get a Harlem in China. You think snapping together iPads all day is tough? It is not as tough as it used to be. Now they have suicide nets around their building so they can jump out, bounce right back. Sorry, boss, just need some fresh air. Back to making Americans more stuff? You got it. This is a tough joke to do as a white comedian, but here goes. Because where this country is now, from where we came from, is pretty remarkable. There's nothing more shameful in our country's past than slavery. Okay, that's horrible. But I've grown up in a generation where I've idolized black people my entire life. They are better at everything. So the fact that we pulled off slavery, I've already said it's awful. That's off the table. I'm just saying it's kind of neat. I mean, at any point, they could have been like, you know we can just run away, right? And you will never catch us. And if you do, we will beat the living shit out of you. All right, that's about how well that joke should go over. There's a fine line between appreciating the sarcasm and, ooh, this feels like a rally. And you did well. That's a joke I do not do everywhere. That's a joke, if the audience gets a little too excited, I shut it down. You start hearing a couple yee-haws, trouble's a brewing. As soon as yee-haw hits a certain octave, hate crime and T minus 10, 9. The unemployment rate in our country is around 6.5%. I'm told that's pretty good. I could care less. I wish a president would have the balls to say what I'm about to. 10% of Americans don't deserve jobs. Good night. Like, that's a number I can get my head around. Of course, there's exceptions to that. That's not who we're talking about. But if you don't think 10% of Americans are lazy pieces of shit, then you have never traveled anywhere. Because the number that blows me away is that over 90% of Americans have jobs. Who the fuck is hiring you morons? Because I wouldn't. The sense of entitlement, everyone thinks they deserve more than they have. No one's content. Young kids, I won't even talk to them anymore because you parents have done such a bang-up job.
But that's a good question, actually. You know how you have those really obese people in the United States?
Oh, true.
Like really obese. And there is like a lot of them. I don't know how many. I will not just guess.
We watched in the other video, right? It was like 20%.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Obesity or something
And
like that?
it's not like it's been like this since like 5 years, because if it's been like this since the COVID pandemic, then okay, I guess those people could work from home, so maybe that's why they are so obese, and they work from home, so that's not a problem. But it's like this since, you tell me, but I guess at least 20-30 years, right? So where were those people working? I can't imagine them walking, in the Walmart trying to help someone, because
Well, they are already
you
using the
cannot
buggy, the driver driving things, what they're called. I forgot. I should also not have a joke because I don't know words.
It's even difficult to move in the car, but you have big cars. That's the other way. So maybe that's the reason for that. Cars are so fucking big, so you can travel to work.
But I have a possibly stupid question. But if you are on benefits because you're unemployed, I get that. But if you
what benefits in the United States?
You get something for being unemployed, right? After some amount of time.
Food checks, I think that's
Maybe food checks, yeah. But so then you are unemployed. But if you are on some kind of disability payment scheme, because you are so obese that you cannot work, are you still classified as unemployed?
No, I don't think so. I think
Yeah.
unemployed people are only the ones that could work and are not
So I
working.
think that might answer part of your question.
But is the obesity classified
Yes.
as the
In our
being
country.
handicapped?
In our country, yes.
I mean, I know in our,
So
in
I
our
guess-
country, but in United States,
I think. Is it? Let us know in the comments. I think once you reach a certain point, it must be. Because there's literally nothing you can do.
maybe that's why they are doing this. It's like, two.
Benefits by a McDonald's fries?
They come back from Walmart, with like this whole bag of food and like 2 months of this, and I will never have to work again.
But
Maybe later I will need to cut my legs off, but like I haven't used them for a while, so it's not a problem. And personally, I respect that because I could do that too, like cutting my legs off to not have to work again. I mean, not all legs and not arms because I like to play video games, so it's out of option. But my soccer days are way behind me, so like I can sacrifice one leg. Yeah, one leg's not a problem.
I'm not superstitious, but every time Voldemort says something like this, and he says something like this daily, I'm always like, oh no, don't say it, you'll jinx it.
Well, I hope so.
Play it.
If I meet one more kid and ask him what he wants to do when he gets older, and he replies, I want to be famous like you, I'm gonna kick him in his teeth. You're never gonna be famous. Never. You have no chance. I didn't get here because I work hard. I have a gift from God. Everybody gets their 15 minutes of fame, buddy. Excuse me? That's an average. Yeah, that's 0 for you, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 20 years, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Everybody gets 15 minutes. You know Andy Warhol was on drugs when he said that, right? He didn't think he'd be quoted for the rest of eternity, let alone taken seriously as an artist. You ever go into like a cute local cafe and an artist has their work for sale on the walls? Has anybody ever not walked up, looked at the price, and gone, who the fuck do they think they are? Just once, I'd like to walk into somebody's home and be like, wow, that is a beautiful piece. Where did you get it? And they're like, oh, funny story. I was getting a spinach wrap the other day for lunch, and I had $750 burning a hole in my pocket. And I was like, hey guys, unbolt this from your urinal and get it into my living room. You know what the unemployment rate in China is? Neither do I, because I'm American, I'm fucking stupid. It's gotta be low, right? Those people get up at 3 a.m. to practice the violin for 4.5 hours. Then they work on math for 12 hours, and whatever's left, they're ninjas. If you think for 1 second we will ever catch up with them, you are out of your mind. Just sit at home and be patient until they take over. And quite frankly, they deserve our country. I go, oh shit, China's here. Do we take off our shoes? How does this work?
When he said that he has a gift from God, I wonder if he meant comedy skills or being good looking.
Yeah, oh my god, his teeth. I don't know if they're natural or not, but oh my god, his teeth. I'm so jealous. And also he's really handsome, but I was trying not to think that he looks a bit like a jerk, and I still don't know if it's a manner of his speaking that he looks a bit like a jerk, or if he's just handsome.
Like a jerk. I thought you were saying he looks like a joke, and I was like, oh fuck, that's harsh. That's harsh.
No, he looks a bit like a jerk. But no, you know what he looks like? He looks like a sorority boy. Mm-hmm. Doesn't he? A little bit, like from a rich family. And he's like quite confident, and like he has a reason to be confident because he is doing good, but he's a little bit too confident. And then he's funny, but he's not that funny.
Yeah, but it works in comedy.
It works. I mean, I like him.
It doesn't work when you work with this guy in the office, but in the comedy, it's I think it's pretty fine.
The whole bit, I was thinking he should be an actor. Like, not, maybe not, I don't know his acting skills for something very complex, like emotional acting and stuff, but like when I'm thinking like romantic comedies, like comedies are the easier kind of acting, that you don't have to like sob on screen.
But if he would play in like a romantic comedy, I can see him being on a date with a girl and being like all the time on the floor.
Yeah,
like,
something like that.
That's nice, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not saying he would have to play someone else, that he's so good at acting, but I think he should play himself, and that this character would work in a lot of movies. That's what I mean.
Okay.
But I liked his comedy. I feel like it would really benefit from listening to him for a longer time, because when I got into like his tone of voice and his style, it got much better at the end. Not saying that it was bad to begin with, but it has like a rhythm, and I feel like I want to watch more, and it's more like laid back. It's not like some of those clips that are like super intense and you laugh every 5 seconds and it's just this bit is so hilarious. It might also not be the strongest bit from this stand-up, but it's more like a slow burn. I would say, like, it's funny, this is funny, this is funny.
And I wanted to say one more thing about what he was saying at the beginning about how the Americans don't deserve jobs. And I don't know if you heard this because it's quite a recent news. Elon Musk said on Twitter or somewhere else that he believes that too many Americans are lazy and incompetent and they don't deserve to have jobs like they have. So what we should do in the United States, I mean, what you should do, but he was saying this, I was Elon Musk, if you haven't noticed. He said that we need to bring all those people from abroad, those highly skilled workers who can appreciate the opportunity that America gives them and the jobs, and they will work for lower salaries, which is very good, of course, for everyone. And they will appreciate being in America, and that's the biggest reward for them, you know. They are not there for the money, they are here for the American dream. And now I read this morning, I think that Trump said basically the same, because, you know, he is, well, Elon Musk employee. And yeah, when he was talking about this, how 10% of Americans should not have a job, and I was thinking all the time about this, and I'm very curious about what is gonna happen next, because I can imagine, and if I would be a Donald Trump supporter, I would be pretty fucking furious right now, like pretty much. Like your whole political agenda is no immigrants, no, we're gonna build a wall on every side of America. I mean, no, on the south, but you would want to be everywhere, and we're not gonna let anyone in. And now you're like, oh, but you know, those Americans, they earn too much, you know, they don't do that much, but they earn too much, and they are not afraid of losing their job, because if they will lose their job, then we could send them back. So we will send all those people from like India, because they will be better workers.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, you know, they always say like they're coming to steal our jobs, so they want to stop the people who are not there to steal the jobs that you want, but the lowest paying jobs, and instead they will let in the highly skilled workers who really will steal some of the jobs.
But they are just calling them highly skilled workers.
Yeah, but you know,
they are not going to be highly skilled workers.
Yeah, but like more, not just physical workers, right?
Yeah, not just physical workers, but like for like corporations, you know, the lowest entry jobs in corporations.
Yeah, but I'm not even, we should probably be wrapping this up, but I didn't even know how that would work, because if you are going to let people from India immigrate, you are still better off outsourcing those positions to those countries, so it doesn't really make sense that you would let these people come in.
Yeah, but maybe like on production lines, stuff like that.
Maybe. Okay, well, I was going to say thanks for recommending it, but I'm not sure you did, but thanks for watching.
And thank you for YouTube, again. YouTube, good job.
Good job. I see another ones that I want to watch in the future. So if you liked our babbling, then please leave us a like and subscribe. We do this a lot. We post new videos every day. You could also comment about whatever you want. Preferably something.
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 Thank you guys. Bye.